Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Spectrum Drama, where we take a look at the hottest posts on Spectrum for the week and give our opinions on them. So, a couple of announcements. First off, if you haven't already, subscribe! That was a surprise subscribe. We weren't expecting it. But yes, if you haven't, subscribe, hit that notification bell, do all that good stuff if you want to get notified of the videos that we post. Now we also have some awesome news. We actually have an awesome giveaway for you guys. So running from tomorrow until the 2nd of December, which is for the Expo, we're actually going to be giving away an Avenger Titan Game Package, which is awesome. And all you need to do to be in with a chance to win this awesome prize is comment on this and every video up until the 2nd of December for your chance to win. And don't forget, the best thing to do is to append it with hashtag or smiley face or, you know, avocado emoji and giveaway. So we know that you want to win, because we have tried to give away stuff before to people who didn't want it, which is very strange. But yes, so if you can append that with something giveaway, and I'll know what you're after. Now this is courtesy of an amazing organisation called Tiberius Stellar Industries. So if you're interested in what they do everything, by the way, but if you're interested in getting involved in a cool org with a bunch of cool people, then we'll leave some links down below, and also we'll flash that up for you now in, you know, using clever animations. So yeah, show them some love because they are giving away an awesome prize here, and we wish you all luck. And I think that is it. So let's jump in. Okay, so first up we've got a post from Darth Daenerys, and it says, why some backers are pissed, a clarification for CIG. So this is a very long post, and I am going to do my best to give you the gist of what this is about, and I apologise, Darth, if I don't do a very good job, but it's very long, you know, TLDR. So basically, the long and short of this is the reason that people are pissed is not necessarily just because, for example, the Mercury Star Runner was given to streamers first. Oh, how dare they? Rather than, you know, all the people who bought it, etc. But more so the fact that people are kind of tired of the constant excuses, the marketing, the PR bullshit, and kind of, he says, uncertainty about the development state of both Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's really all I need to say. You guys could take it from there, right?
I thought this was an interesting post, and you get this from backers who are concerned about levels of communication from CIG quite a bit, where you know, they're in a technical job, they're used to working in large projects, some of them, you know, very expensive projects, and they're used to levels of communication and transparency within that project. I think that the thing we're seeing here is, with this game, something entirely different. I understand why people are frustrated by it, but I kind of got mixed feelings, and I've been through the whole "you're not communicating well enough" cycle myself in the past. But I think some bullet points. I think this project this size is going to go wrong. There will be delays. There'll be all kinds of expectations to manage. But when you take a look at the audience they've got to deal with the backers, it's a whole range of disparate views. And actually, I think if you spoke to 5 different people, you get 5 different views about what the project was going to achieve and what they expect out of it. So they're having to manage a whole range of expectations. And I just wonder if some of the kind of reeling in of communications and the kind of minimal output we're getting from them is because, frankly, CIG are just trying to keep on a lid on it, because I shouldn't be pointing the finger back at the backer community. It might be a bit of a surprise to you guys me saying this, but you know, the backer community can be very volatile at times, and I think it's like a learned behaviour. They just let out as little information as they need at any given time because they don't know how people are going to react. I think there was a line in here, see if I can find it, where the guy says, look, you know, we are not Microsoft, EA, Blizzard, or any other evil publisher. We are the backers, are your friends first and foremost. and friends help each other. I'm sorry, but if you spent any time in Spectrum and seen, the concoction of personalities in there and the absolute rage fest that go on, I think CIG are probably going to be very metered in terms of the communication, and probably have learned over time only to give just enough to keep the community happy. Because if they put too much out there and something goes wrong, it's like rope to get themselves hung with. And I think I've overspoke probably. I don't know if anybody else wants to take a view on the matter.
No, I think you're kind of on the money there. This is something we've probably discussed maybe 4 times this year.
Yeah.
A post like this always kind of props up when some big PR crap goes down in CIG, and it's just this Mercury Star Runner thing has just ignited that flame again. I completely think you're on the money. I'm not really going to go into that again because I just feel like I'm sort of saying the same thing that I've said before 4 times. But I will kind of comment on maybe we should kind of, unless Grant's got something he wants to chip in on the communication side of it, maybe we just kind of skim over and go towards the whole should streamers get the ship before the owners issue.
Yeah, just on the community backing, I'm with Jag on this, that he's got a nice idea here, and it's a very idealistic view, which isn't Spectrum, because there are people that will give the support, but there's always people that fight back. And the one thing that this always just reminds me of is I really don't want Zylo's job at all.
No, I don't think many people do at this point.
No. The one thing I will say is he does say here an absolute lack of community management, and I don't think that's true. I think that his anger there is misplaced, because the community managers actually do a really good job, as we pointed out last week when one of them said they were leaving and everyone went, what? Because of the amount of posts and kind of the information they actually do sneak out. So I just want to point that out, that sometimes you need to be a little bit more careful where you point your finger, Darth. Because I think the community managers do a pretty damn good job. But I think he said, the PR, the marketing departments can do a terrible job with this game and have done for years. And I think that they sometimes rule the roost a little bit. I think that could be a problem. Yeah,
you do wonder sometimes whether decisions are taken marketing first in the game, but I think that's a very wide and deep discussion to be had.
Yeah, definitely.
I think, well, that's probably why the streamers got it first. It's down to marketing, really, isn't it? It's not the community manager's fault. They probably had no say in the matter. It was probably a marketing trick to try and get eyeballs on the ship. Not the first time they've done it, and it's not going to be the last one. This one's just a bit more high profile because of the hype for the ship. And in the past, it's been for smaller things like the Rock or the 100i, which, most players are kind of meh about. But when it comes to the MSR, the community is a lot more heated about that.
Yeah, they really were. I mean, there was an awful lot of outrage on the Spectrum forums about that over the last week. Some really heated conversations. Personally, I was quite laid back about the whole notion of having to wait for a couple of days. I can see why people were upset about it. I think, I guess if you put your money into the game at concept level and left that money with them for a couple of years, I can see why people would probably feel a little bit upset that other people are getting their hands on your stuff before you do. But I guess you don't necessarily buy entitlement to get your hands on it first. You only get it at release. So, this was a testing phase.
I think that brings us nicely onto our next post, which is from Tomato, a regular, and it says MSR controversy, past money versus future money. So I'm going to try and gist this again. The thing with these posts is they're all quite, not necessarily lengthy, but they're lengthy in the coverage of things that they talk about during these posts. But essentially, there's been some problems recently because CIG released a ship, the MSR, and streamers got it first. And I think that this overarching kind of problem has come to light. People are starting to sort of get the impression that CIG are more worried about their sort of their bottom line, their back end, whatever you want to call it, rather than their backers. And so if it comes to it and they have to pick between what's best for their wallets and what's best for their core fan base, they're going to pick their wallet every time. I think that's fair. Does that sound fair?
It sounds fair. I mean, to me, this is nothing new though.
No.
There's been a few occasions where this has come up, and I don't really see why this seems to be a big revelation for some people. I'm not quite sure why, because like I said, we've seen a few instances where it seems they're more focused on getting that new money in than supplying us with what we've backed. And this is just another one in the long list. It's nothing new for me.
No. And I know that, Grant, you have a lot to say on this topic because we've discussed this before. But yeah, what's your opinion on this? How does this make you feel deep inside?
Okay, so with the whole idea of CIG trying to do the best thing for the project at the price of the backers, it is a business, it is a product they're trying to release, and the truth is, at the end of the day, all of the backers are going to benefit from the project once it's released. I do understand the frustration because you're putting in some money, you'd like to see what you've put it in for. And now with this whole thing with the MSR's release, I don't mind that they give it to streamers to have a look, even if they don't own it. That really didn't bother me. They want to try boost it for sales or whatever. It really didn't faze me. My only issue with that is where Xylo posted on another post where people were complaining about this, that they were concerned because they don't want to take the livelihood away from some of these streamers. And my problem there is some streamers are more important than others, because if they're giving it to some, why not all? And that's where I have a problem with that logic behind his reasoning. But my problem comes in with the stress test for the Expo rental. Because of the crashes and the difficulty of actually getting in that small window. Now, I own the MS and I am 2 hours plus UTC time. So for me, I had to be up quite late to try for 45 minutes to get into a game, to get into a hall with a whole bunch of other backers that make it to first wave, to try rent a ship that I already own, just so I can see something that I have paid for. That is where I had the issue. So I don't mind them making it for rental. There are a lot of people that don't own the ship that will probably be wave one that can do the stress testing for it. And they have a lot of ships on rental, so I don't see necessarily why. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding things and I don't get how it works, but I don't see why it's one ship's rental would make a difference to the rental function. Maybe it does, maybe I'm wrong, that's okay. But my just big irritation is that I had to go the day before to try and fight to rent the ship to see what it's like that I already own, and that I had the problem with. Because I feel like they should have just released it to the owners at the same time. Sure, they weren't going to rush to the hall, but then maybe, there wouldn't have been so many people struggling because, or maybe that's what they wanted to test. But either way, it just annoyed me that I had this small little limited window with everybody else to just look at a ship that I want to see. And like I said, I don't care that everybody else had access to it. That's not my problem. My problem is I had to jump through hoops to try and get access to something I own. That's where I took issue.
They made a mistake. Where they made the mistake was that they knew that the Mercury Star Runner was a big release because a lot of people were waiting for it. It's one of the first ships that's come out in a long time that had that level of excitement for it. So to use it at the same point that you're doing stress testing, that was their mistake, because all you're going to do is have a bunch of people who are already foaming at the mouth for the ship, like you say, unable to get and use their own ship, and then given an option to then use a ship that, they have to rent, and not being able to because they're stress testing, that's a vicious circle that's going to bite them in the arse, definitely. And that's where they made their mistake, I think.
Yeah, because the thing is, you don't need the MSR to draw people to go and have a look. This past patch, as you guys have said in your review, was really light. It was quite bland, and for a 3-month space there's not much to do. So now in the PTU you have this whole new area with things to see and things to do. So anyone that's playing is going to be like, hey, look, it's a new thing to go have a look at and do. So it's going to get stress test anyway. What I think is the dick move is not giving things to streamers, not the whole rental. The whole reason why it makes it a dick move is because there's no way that somebody there wouldn't have predicted that there would have been backlash from this, yet they still went ahead and did it. That mentality is what makes it a dick move, in my opinion.
Well, I think CIG obviously haven't kind of thought through, or perhaps weren't that fussed about the potential backlash they might have got from doing what they did around the MSR. But I mean, in respect to the post itself, I felt like it was kind of conflating two issues and not being entirely successful. You know, I guess at the end of the day, when you back, my view on it, you back something, you shouldn't expect for more than you've backed necessarily. Although I've said before, I've got sympathy with people who wanted access to the ship, you know, and to be front of the queue, as it were. But I think the whole argument about whether CIG are respecting past money is much better reflected in discussions about things like, you know, the war bond sales issue, than it is this kind of, you know, pernickety, spiky argument about, you know, people having to wait a couple of days for an internet spaceship.
So, one-off ship.
Yeah. So I'm kind of not entirely convinced by the poster. I found that the MSR controversy was just like a gateway piece to talk about perhaps something that he felt was a more deep-seated problem. But I don't see necessarily that they tie together too successfully.
Yeah, seems to be the go-to now for most posts on Spectrum. It's kind of like, you know, here's the hook, and now here's what I'm selling, kind of thing, you know. And it's like the old-fashioned snake oil, you know what I mean? The bottle looks shiny, you know, but the contents, it's killer. And yeah, it's the same deal, you know. I think what people maybe need to do, and we've discussed this many times before, is if you're going to make a post about a specific subject, be specific, because otherwise what tends to happen is you get like a vast majority of people going into your post coming out either confused or more angry because you've pointed them out something else and they were already angry about the original thing. it's just it's just more fuel on the fire. So it's very dangerous.
What I will say about Xylo's kind of response to this whole controversy, not really to point anything at Xylo, but maybe just the community team in general. It didn't feel completely genuine. I don't honestly think that some of the sort of reasoning behind their decision to do it like they did was quite what they said it was. Part of the reason I believe was obviously they want to give it out to streamers because they want to get eyeballs on it because it gives them sales. That's fair enough. Okay, whatever. But to not give it to backers, because of what was the logic behind that? It was something to do with testing. That they wanted to get more testing done on it first before the owners got it. So why can't the owners test the ship that they paid for? I don't. Yeah. It just doesn't feel genuine to me. Feels like a bit of a cop-out, unfortunately, and yeah, it doesn't really sit well.
The default CIG way, though, isn't it? A cop-out.
Yeah, it can be sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking about specific posts, the next post from Leonin is very specific. So this is specifically about the MSR again, but it is about its safety situation. Now this one did make me chuckle because we've kind of discussed a few of the issues on this list, so they are genuine, we've all thought it, but basically there are some oversights on this ship which probably do need addressing. So I'm just going to read out the list so far. So this is the manufacturer that basically has missed these things off. So it has no escape pods, no lifeboat, has no method of entry or exit other than the cargo ramp, only has one fire extinguisher, which I love, which happens to be right next to the cargo ramp, and has no med kits. Which, I mean, fair enough, some of those are very picky, but very specific. But we discussed this before. The entry and exit, I think, is a mistake. only having one, even if it's a hidden exit, they should have somewhere on the bottom that you could just nip out of. Who here doesn't own an MSR? I put my hand up.
I think currently all of us, apart from Grant, I believe. Gag, have you got an MSR?
I have.
Okay.
So everyone except me, basically. So I'm going to shut up now.
I don't own one yet, but I will do.
Well, it's a done deal, we'll call it.
Yeah.
I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let the owners of this ship actually have a chat. So what do you guys think about this?
I mean, I've brought this up on, I think, stream the other day. I was chatting to E-Hawk about this. I think Phasmophobia, I think it was. I'm quite surprised that there's no escape pods. There's plenty of space on the ship to stick some on the side of one of the corridors that goes to the cockpit, or by the turrets. You could probably put them. Not sure if that would encroach too much on the habitation part, but might be doable. Or like you say, even a little escape hatch on the bottom that can only be opened from the inside, so people can't sneak aboard, kind of thing. Yeah. I'm just really surprised that there's no escape pods. Even the Freelancer is meant to have these beds that turn into escape pods, I believe.
This seems to me that it's indicative of not following through on the consequences of taking a ship that was size X and enlarging it significantly to size Y. This was a much smaller ship. We were never meant to be able to get anything in the back, let alone 3 tumbrel cyclones. And perhaps the access fore and aft was considered, reasonable enough to have one entrance. Maybe they've not thought, well, actually, it's as big as a connie now. Maybe we should have a lift or something, or a hatch, like you say, over at one end.
Yeah, I would just be happy with some escape pods. If you get in trouble in a fight in this thing, your only way out is through the back door, and there's going to be so many problems with that.
Also just even from like a couple of standpoints. So in lore, apparently Crusade is supposed to be like one of the most safety conscious manufacturers, yet they don't have a escape hatch, they don't have escape pods, which is a bit silly. And I've seen some people being like, yeah, but it's a runner ship, so you should just run away. And it's like, yeah, but you're missing the first part of that, which is it's a data runner. It runs data, and if you've flown it, there's not a chance that you're going to outrun a pack of fighters with that thing. So you need some form of just escape. It's a big enough ship that there is a lot of space. There's some odd spaces in that ship in places where there's not really anything, that they could easily just put some escape pods. So even if they don't put a secondary exit, and once fires become an actual thing, if they just put another fire extinguisher somewhere else, like, just for the love of goodness, just put in some escape pods. That's all I would like. Yes, it would be nice to have another entrance, or a nice little, just like you were saying, like a little just hidden escape hatch here or there, but it's the escape pods that concern me the most, because it's not a Drake ship. I'm happy with my Drake ships not having them, but with this thing, you would have thought that they would have put escape pods in it. So it's just odd.
I reckon we're missing a trick, So the MSR is a ship of surprises. We've got the thing under the chest table, the crawly spaces, the hidden stash and stuff like that. I reckon there's more surprises in this, and I think they're not engineering the escape pod stuff now. I mean, nobody's really talking escape pod technology, and none of it's integrated in any of the ships that are supposed to have it. I reckon there's going to be another surprise. When that tech comes along, the thing you'll need to do is you'll leg it into the habitation room, jump into one of the crappers, and there'll be a special double flush that will eject the toilet into space, and it will double up as a life support escape pod.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to work.
And to be honest, let's face it, if you're ejecting out of a blowing up ship, you're going to be shitting yourself. So it's the perfect place to be. I like it.
Function and form.
Damn right. Cool. Okay, so that moves us ever so smoothly on. Speaking of shit, to no offense, Starcatraz, I don't mean your poster shit, but the new Night Runner skin. I love the way this says new Mercury Night Runner skin bad. That's how this post is worded. It's great. But essentially, if you haven't seen it, the skin should look amazing. And when we showed it, last week was it, or the week before?
Yeah, last week.
It looks amazing. I mean, that is how it should look. And now we've kind of seen it, what it looks like in game. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah. There was a post that went out. I don't remember exactly who said it, but they mentioned that they were removing the advocacy lettering from the skin, and I guess the UEE whatever you call it, logo, insignia. Yeah, that's the word I was going for. From the wings, and just mention of that sounded pretty good to me. By removing them, you still have the lovely hex pan over the wings, the little gold trim going over the top there and dotted around, and you've got this kind of smoky windscreen as well.
Yeah, which
would be great. Then we got the actual skin on the PTU, and it's actually completely different. There's no hex pan. The colour is very glossy, and in the majority of light in space, the ship comes up more grey than it does black.
Yeah,
there's a lot more.
A bit like a freelancer.
Yeah, there's a lot more gold on the actual skin than what was actually kind of advertised at the beginning. So yeah, it is definitely different. But is it worse?
It's tacky. I think it looks tacky compared to the advocacy skin. I think this, because of the amount of gold that they've got and the way that the gold in certain lights clashes with that horrible grey, it looks like someone's tried to fancy up an old-fashioned hospital. I don't like it.
I think that's a brilliant way of putting it. This is me, I think, showing my age here. I looked at it and thought, oh, they've delivered it, and that was it. To my mind, I wasn't too fussed. And I think I said on Discord, am I the only one who is okay with this? I can see what's missing now. So I put the glasses on the top of my head and peered at the pictures that had come out. I think the pictures Darkatraz put on was a really bad one. Having seen it in first hand now. I think the only thing, the 2 points I say, there's a little bit too much gold on it, and they've missed out the hexagonal texturing, which obviously a lot of people were looking forward to. That must have been the thing that made it for them. I'm not too fussed about it myself, but it definitely isn't the skin that was advertised.
From my side, I don't own the skin, so it's not something I was ever going to put on the ship because I don't have it. So it didn't really faze me. It should have been a bit darker, and not having the hexagonal texturing's a bit not great. But he did put an image of what he thought it should look like, and I don't think it should have looked like that either, because you can see there's a clear contrast between the amount of gold. He looks like he just didn't really like the gold at all from the get-go. So it wasn't what was originally said it would be. It is quite different, but at the same time, as far as I know, I may be wrong, and you're welcome to correct me, it also wasn't paid for. It was something you had to earn doing a little mini game, and I don't know if they revealed the skin until after the mini game was finished.
As far as I'm aware, I can't remember. This was like 2 years ago or something. I don't exactly remember, but from what I do remember, we didn't know what the skin was going to be until after the event, and then they showed it, and at that point it was, I really liked the original kind of concept image of the skin. Apart from the advocacy, I didn't particularly want to be flying around with advocacy written on my ship for no reason. It just feels a bit odd. Yeah. But so when they said they were going to take the advocacy off, I thought, okay, this is going to be a really nice skin that anyone can use. But now they've just, I don't know why they've done this. I don't completely hate it. I would have preferred it if it still had that hex pattern on it, but shame.
Yeah, definitely. It's weird as well because when you look at this picture, like Jag pointed out, I mean, this is a decidedly bad representation of it, because this is, as bad as you can get. We've got direct sun, and it's there's no way to make that ship look dark, even if it was. But it just looks plain. That's my problem with it. Like, even if it was, say, you know, it came out that lighter grey colour, if it had that hex pattern on it, it just would break up the monotony of that horrible hospital grey colour, you know. And then with that gold, the way that it looks there, that looks like when people decorate a cake with that fake gold foil stuff, or whatever you call it.
Gold leaf stuff.
Yeah, it looks like someone's just gone round with some glue and some gold leaf and gone, yeah, it looks alright. I actually hate it more than all of you, and I don't own the ship, so thank God for that.
It looks very similar to a lot of the concierge skins that you might see. You get the 600i and the lightning, I think, has got a black and gold concierge skin. So it's basically just another concierge skin, but like Grant said, we didn't pay for this. This came as a reward for playing some silly little hide and seek mini game 2 years ago. So it's not like I spent money on it and I care about it that much. You know, it's something I got for free. So okay.
Yeah, can't really get too angry for a free gift, essentially.
Well, saying that, I did get a weird Christmas present one year of a mini Henry vacuum cleaner. Somebody thought was a great idea, and I had a right rage fest about that. I got them something nice that year. They didn't get anything nice the next year, I tell you that.
Did they really think you're the kind of person that would like a Henry vacuum cleaner?
A mini version, no less.
Sorry, I didn't mean to turn this into a therapy session. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I was once given a gift, but it was the kind that only goes with antibiotics. You know, it's the kind of things you want to try and avoid. You know, so people, there are good gifts and there are no gifts. But yeah, no, I think that I think people need to take a chill pill on the color because it was a freebie. But CIG sold your shit out.
Yeah, you can't fucked it up.
Speaking of freebies, don't forget we are giving away an awesome Avenger Titan Game Package. So if you want to be in with a chance to win that, all you need to do is comment on this and every video up until the 2nd of December. And if you would like to shout it from the rooftops, show your love for Tiberius Stellar Industries, the organisation that is giving away this awesome prize, then we will have a link down in the description and also up on the screen now. See? Magic. So yeah, go and show them some love. And if you're looking for an organisation, then, you know, throw them your credentials, they might like you. But I think that pretty much covers it for this evening. So I want to thank our awesome patrons who came along and joined us. So thank you very much, Grant.
You're welcome.
It was good to have you, and thank you very much, Jag.
No, thank you.
Yes, damn right, thank me. Yeah, no, that is pretty much it. So yeah, don't forget to just comment in general if you've got any feelings on these posts at all. Yeah, if you haven't already, come on over to our Discord and you know, show us some love. We love to chat to you guys, and you know, our Discord is growing, getting bigger every day. So there's always some people in there chatting away. And yeah, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Star Citizen content. But I think that's it. We're done. So yeah, thanks everyone very much for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.